All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today at this webinar. My name is Dan Copperwood. I'm the International Admissions Manager at Soulbridge International School of Business at Woosong University. And I am really happy to be hosting this webinar today. I feel very lucky and fortunate to be joined by Dean of the JW Kim College of Future Studies, Professor Yutuk Lee. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me today.
I'm really curious and excited to learn more about this College of Future Studies because it's an unusual name for a school, Future Studies. I'm very interested to know what it is that we're going to be learning about, what you're going to be teaching there. So I guess I don't want to talk too much. I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say about this.
Great.
So if you could give us some information about this College of Future Studies. What is it? What are students going to learn? What are you going to teach there?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. Those who are interested in JW Kim College of Future Studies. I would like to share some basic information with you before we get started for Q&A session. So I prepared a little presentation for everyone. So let me use my presentation material and share some thought that I do have about JW Kim College of Future Studies.
Okay, then let me share this with everybody.
Thank you very much. So this is the agenda that I want to share with you today. Let's think about the future a little bit. How do you feel about the future and how do we imagine about future? And I would like to share some vision of our school. And then I want to share basic structure and curriculum about the school. And I would like to highlight a couple of unique aspects of our school. And then I want to share my final thoughts. Let me start with sharing some interesting picture. These are the pictures that has been developed by artists in 19th century. They were imagining about the future, year 2000. So as you can see from the screen, there are some flying caps in a classroom that faculty put all the textbook into the machine. Somehow machine digests all this content and then deliver it to our student. And then at the bottom, you will see the machine that cleaning the floor. How many of this technology has been realized today? What do you think? Almost everything, right?
In one form or another, yeah.
Right, yeah. Although exact shape and function might be a little bit different. So my question to you is, what is your imagination of your future and our future? I think we went through number of industrial revolution. First industrial revolution and second industrial revolution and third industrial revolution. And a lot of people said that we are facing with fourth industrial revolution. I don't know how it looks like. It will change our life. But for sure, important thing is the core technology of the fourth industrial revolution would be three, such as artificial intelligence, and data science, which is big data analysis, and then cognitive science. So those are the core and fundamental technologies that we need to use in order to ready for fourth industrial revolution. With that fact, JW Kim College of Future Study will transcend all the learning boundaries in the traditional education system and trying to provide education for leaders of the future, with the vision of forming the future of university education in Asia with the three unique strategies. The first one is student-centric agile curriculum. I will explain more details about that. And second is worldwide learning location, so-called global campus, and then innovative learning platform. With those strategy, we develop a program structure and curriculum, as you can see on the screen. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, freshman year, we will deliver liberal art and basic technology analytical skills. And in the second year, sophomore, you will learn basic major topics, depends on the specific major that you select. And then junior, senior year, we're going to provide advanced topics and related modules, which is related to your industry that you are interested in. Interestingly, last semester, we're going to offer a project semester so that you can focus on project, which is going to be real world experience working with the global companies. One of the unique aspects of our curriculum is instead of push-based, it is pull-based, which means conventional education system, we bring up all the questions and content. Those are what faculty members are interested in and want to deliver our student. But our curriculum is developed based on your interest. Student will bring up all the interesting questions to the classroom and faculty will work with them and then discuss with them and try to find the solutions. One of the philosophy that we do have is interesting question that we ask as an educator in the industry of education. Sometimes we ask whether we want to put our student out of box or in the box. Normally we put our student in the box, which is classroom, which is boring. But I think the more interesting question that we want to ask is, when you graduate high school, what is the shape of your brain? Is it box or roundy shape or curvy or triangle? So regardless what kind of shape that you do have, we're trying to bring you to the real world so that you can observe the real world, so that you can reshape your brain so that we can study through our education system. In order to do that, we prepared global campus. First 2 years, you're going to stay on main campus, which is located in Daejeon, South Korea. And then we're going to let you spend 2 years in the global campus so that you can have real world hands-on experience. What we're looking for as our partner, for example, student, we would like to highlight 3 C's. The first C is we would like to have someone who does have high level of curiosity or curious. Someone asks question, always interested in learning new things. So we would like to have students who are curious about a lot of things. And we would like to have someone who does have some creativity. Instead of just like following the guideline, asking interesting question, and then think about new way of doing things. And then we would like to have a student who are cooperative so that we can work with as a team. My final thought is, as you can see from the screen, there is a bridge, not over the river, but beside the river. When we built, or when they built the bridge, the river was flowing under the bridge. But things has been changed, which means external environment has been changed, but they still built the old bridge. As a result, river flows in a different path and bridge is located in a different place. What kind of bridge and where would you build your bridge? Please join us. We're going to think about the future together and create the future together. If you join JCFS, we're going to build the right bridge over the river. That's my thought that I want to share with you. Thank you very much.
This is great. Thank you. So something that you brought up that I guess I really like to, before we go too far, you brought up the 3 C's, which is kind of an interesting concept. It sounds to me like you're not focused specifically on looking only for students who are top of their class or only students who already have experience in computer programming, right. Not students who have the best English score.
Right.
But you're looking for somebody who's more well-rounded, somebody who has these other attributes right. that allow for growth.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. And then we need to prepare for the new era of digital transformation, right? So we want to have a flexible people instead of someone whose brain is fulfilled with old knowledge, but flexible enough so that we can fulfill new knowledges.
Okay, and knowledge that they're interested in, the
yes.
pull versus push philosophy.
That's right.
Education. So this is fantastic. So I know a lot of you are coming out of high school and you might be thinking, why does this matter? This really does. sitting in a classroom, you've probably done this your whole life. People give you information. Actually being able to steer your education is a big deal. So I guess this leads me to the next question, which is a really big question. I'm sure it's a question a lot of students have right now, but it's what kind of classes will students be able to take at JCFS?
Well, I briefly shared with you on the screen, but we do have a new approach of training our student if you join us. We're not going to train a technicians who can just write a code and programming and disassemble computer and assemble computers and build a network. On top of that skill, I think we're going to train you as a manager, so that you can coordinate the technology or engineers. You can also manage how to develop the new technology, how to use the technology. So our philosophy is trying to train you technical skill plus managerial skill. As a result, first year, we're going to offer some liberal arts so that we can understand what's important in human natures and our society, business ethics, and then basic analytical skills, statistics and mathematics and computer programming. And then once you move up to the sophomore, second year of your college, we're gonna provide some basic major courses, depends on the major that you select among AI, DS, and CS. And then third year, we're gonna provide and offer more advanced kind of topic based on your major that you select. On top of that, we're gonna provide some convergence courses, which is interesting concept because your major plus industry that you're interested in. For example, you're interested in technology, which is AI or sometimes finance, then we're going to teach or create the course combining those two topics, which is fintech in finance, something like that. And on top of that, that course will be compete each other, which means faculty members will compete each other. After one semester or 1 year later, based on the evaluation, based on the feedback from the market and our student, we're gonna get rid of almost like 20% or 30% of old course, and we're gonna build or design a new course based on the evaluation. That is one of the very innovative way of managing our classes. And last semester, as I mentioned, is gonna be project semester. You're gonna stay in one of the global campus that you're gonna select based on your major and based on your interest. And then you'll stay there for 2 years. And then last semester, you're going to work with a ranged project with a global company. Our professional consulting based or background faculty member will provide some additional kind of like sessions so that you can have a professional experience working on the project from the large organization located in global campus.
So this is, okay, so in the beginning, it looks like the foundation is going to be built on soft skills, which is what everybody needs. Like every employer is demanding soft skills, and we're building actually practical knowledge on top of that.
Exactly.
It's going to lead you through until we get to the actual application.
That's right.
Company. Okay,
yeah, that's right.
Something else you mentioned, which I know you went through it very quickly, and just in case people missed it, you said AIDSCS, which we know what that is, but just for everybody who's watching. So AI, DS, CS, just so you guys, could you go over what that is, what we're going to be able to teach you?
Yeah, a lot of technology around us already adopted or utilize those technology, voice recognition system and humanless kind of cars. In order to run that kind of technology, you need to have tons of data and analyze the data. Based on that data, you're gonna let machine learn about the future potential options that machine can take. And then in relating those two things, we need to understand how human being is interacting with various technology and machines and even robots, right? Even like the computer interface, right? What's the best interface the human being can communicate with this computer, right? Keyboard and voice recognition system and touch screen, there are very different kind of things. So data science is about studying how do we collect the data? How do we analyze the data? And how do we make draw the conclusions and meaningful information from data? So that's about data science. And that fields the basic resources so that AI can learn from the data and make a decision even, right? On behalf of the human being, right? And then in order to make that happen, we need to understand cognitive science, which means how human brain works so that we can copy that human brain works into the machine. And also we can develop the useful interaction or interface between human being and technology.
So, okay, so that was our relationship between AI, CS, DS. Yeah, it's a lot. We have so much data out there, learning how to analyze it. It's such a big deal.
That's right.
People don't understand what a big deal it is. We're at this amazing time with so much data and the ability to analyze it.
That's right.
It's pretty amazing right now.
Right.
So, okay, so we talked about the classes, but something I guess maybe I went ahead of where we wanted to be right now, but I want to know, what are the unique aspects of this college? Something that students will not be able to get if they go somewhere else.
Yeah. I would like to highlight three unique aspects of our college due to the fast changing environment. There has been a demand of way of training young generations because of new technology, and we are in the middle of transformation. And even because of the pandemic crisis, that translation and transformation speed has been escalated and will be escalated furthermore. So we need to find out a new way to train young generation who will live in the new era of digital transformation. With that, our college offered three majors as we discussed, right? AI, DS, CS. There are not many schools who provide three majors, which is core technology for the fourth industrial revolution, especially in Asia. Sometimes you will find some classes and programs and certification programs under computer science department and engineering department. But our college, as I mentioned, we're trying to train you understand the technology and managerial skill. So this is the rare education service, especially within Asia region. So second aspect, I think I would like to share with you is agile curriculum. It sounds like awkward new buzzword for most of you, but agile curriculum means, as I mentioned, it's not push-based curriculum. We already have a fixed kind of classes and curriculum based on what faculty think it might be the best, but we're gonna develop the frame and then we're gonna fulfill and offer new courses based on the environmental changes and market changes, and even based on what you want to learn in order to fulfill your future needs to get your better job. And that's the second unique aspect. The last unique aspect, not the least, is kind of flipped learning. If you get into the classroom, if you are not motivated because they're not discussing what you are interested in, but faculty members real world situation so that you can observe the real world. And then you can find the interesting question from the real world and bring that questions into your classroom so that faculty can prepare our discussion based on the question that you bring in. So that's the kind of I would say, three most important highlights.
So if you're not familiar with flipped classroom, this is an amazing thing. Student-driven learning, you're able to choose what you want to learn about. Something new happens. That's right. You can say, hey, here's this new thing that happened with Tesla. Can we talk about the AI that's involved in this? I mean, it's exactly. Real life. You're not going to be learning the same things that someone learned 5 years ago in the same school. I think that's pretty real.
Exactly.
So learning about the things you're actually interested in. That's a big deal.
That's right.
So this is fantastic. Something else that you mentioned previously, and I really want to get back to it, is this idea of the global campus. Mm-hmm. And there's a project. Can you explain more about the global campus? How is that going to work as we're going to be learning across the world?
Right. So as I briefly described in our structure, 2 years, first 2 years, if you join JWKM College of Future Study, you're going to stay on main campus for 2 years. While you're staying on main campus, we're going to offer various classes, online, offline, and workshop and team meetings and advising sessions and things like that. And then after you spend how to study and learn how to ask a question and how to bring interesting question to our classroom, then we're going to send you to the global campus. Our global campus, we're in the process of developing 4 sites. The first site in Asia, we already built and has a capacity in China, Beijing. So you have a classroom and our faculty member will travel to the global campus too while you're staying there, and you can utilize some of the existing facility in our partner university. And then we're trying to we're in the process of building another campus in Korea because we realize that some students might be interested in staying in Korea instead of going out of this country. So that's the 2 sites in Asia. Another site we're in the process of developing, 1 site in Germany. Kaiserslautern is a very interesting city where the biggest AI research center is located in, like 1 hour away from Frankfurt, which is big city. So that you can access to the big city, fulfilled with a lot of universities and research center. And last site, we're in the process of developing one very unique site in United States, obviously. Okay. So Boston is one of the very innovative and dynamic city where students can interact with students from every countries. So that's going to be our 4th site, and we're in the process of developing those interesting sites.
So, I mean, I think this sounds really great to be able to travel to these different sites, different places within, like around the world. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking right now, okay, this sounds cool. I'm going to have a flipped classroom. I'm going to be learning these things in different countries. We're going to learn about what I want to learn about. But in the end, what are the actual skills that I'm going to have when I graduate?
So based on the major that you select and topic that you select and industry that you select and a global campus that you select, they're going to have a different kind of knowledges, but basic skill. If you think about today's modern organization, most of the work and task is done based on team and project-based. So it is very important for us to learn how to interact with your team members, how to collaborate with others, and how to manage your small scale and big scale project. On top of that, we're going to provide managerial skill, how to manage it, how to interact with environment, with various kind of resources. And also we're going to provide a communication skill. We're going to help you to learn languages so that you can have effective communication skills and leadership skills too. As a person young generation who does understand technology and management skill, now need to be a leader in your organization to coordinate and manage new data or digital transformation process.
Okay, so we're not talking about specializing just in one thing.
Right.
We're becoming a well-rounded individual that's able to be really good at many different facets.
That's right.
So you're not going to just be an engineer. You're not going to just be a manager. Right. You're going to be able to encompass all these skills to bring everything out.
That's right.
Okay. This is fantastic. So, all right. So we have these skills. What is the job outlook for somebody that would graduate from JCFS? What kind of jobs are these students going to be able to get when they graduate?
Yeah, as I mentioned a number of times, because those 3 areas and majors are and will be core technology of the 4th industrial revolution. I mean, there are unlimited number of jobs that we can think about, but I selected a number of major potential career path that you can think about. Obviously, this is technology oriented plus managerial skill equipped kind of program so that you can have a job in IT industry. For example, AI application service planner, an AI application programmer, application startup, and AI analytic data analyst. And then there are so many jobs in IT industry, and I even cannot list up all of those opportunities. But not only in IT industry, but other industries. If you think about any industry that doesn't use digital technology or database and AI and things like that, I mean, you can think about various kind of industry, but finance, for example, blockchain and digital monies and all the money that you pay by your phone, that's part of finance industry, and they need to have people who understand AI and technology or database and human interactions with their customers and healthcare industry. Now, the physicians, instead of physicians, robot is trying to do this, provide the surgery services, right? It's AI, remote control, right? Sensor-based, actuator-based, all this technology embedded kind of machines and robots and database system that is available in healthcare industry. So we need a lot of young generations who can manage all this technology. AI-based marketing based on social network and then internet-based kind of information, you can develop a new marketing tools and solutions. And game industry, this is really exciting kind of industry. You can game developer, you can develop a user interface kind of technologies. So there are a huge amount of opportunities in various industry, not only in commercial industry, but also academic institution like research center, government research center and corporate research center, regional government research center. There are many research centers who's looking for young generation who understand the future technology like AI, DS, and CS. And on top of that, as I mentioned, management. In management, in the past, they made a decision based on human beings' experience and the data they can acquire. But these days, there are so many data that you cannot even catch up. For example, somewhere they do have data, but we cannot. We don't have the capacity to collect entire data in the world. But internet and automatic kind of search program, through all different kind of technology, you can collect data so that we will be able to make a decision not only solely based on human being or human experience, but technology. So you need a young professionals who can manage this kind of decision-making process. Finally, you can pursue graduate study. Based on our training and degree that you will get or earn from our program, you can pursue graduate study, master's degree and PhD degree. We need and world need a lot of young people who understand this technology.
So it sounds like the preparation is going to be for jobs that are emerging right now and jobs that have not even been invented yet.
Right.
Technologies that don't exist yet. So
that's right.
Our graduates are going to be looking,
right.
So it's not where, this new technology exists. Let me get trained for it. You're going to be trained. So when you graduate, you can just jump right in.
Right.
All right. This sounds fantastic.
It is.
Are there any other benefits that students can get from coming to JCFS?
Yes, we do have a more exciting aspect in our college because if you think about the main campus, this is the location where you can find a fast changing technology and dynamic culture here in Korea. So a lot of young generations and new generations excited about visiting Korea too. So your destination and your main campus is located in a very exciting kind of a region. On top of that, after you spend your time in that region, you can find and have another exciting experience moving to another global campus based on your preference. So that's the global experience. And then based on our world-class faculty members, who's going to join us through the online classes. We're not limited to our faculty members on main campus. So we do have a networked world-class professors. For example, Tom Davenport is one of the 3 management group located in the United States, but teach one of our course during this semester. So that kind of benefit, top-class faculty members, you will have a chance to meet them. And through the global campus experience, we will develop the local network. So you can have a bigger network so that you can have a face-to-face meeting with local professionals and local scholars and local students. So although you belong to our college, your network and experience boundary will be unlimited to the global level.
This sounds fantastic. I think, to be honest, everybody watching right now, this probably is the densest data webinar I've ever done. There's so much. I'm hoping that you're going to be able to rewatch this. Maybe you can slow it down and watch and pause it, take notes, because there's a lot of information that we covered today. There's so much that I hope that you were able to pick up from what we talked about. This is really exciting. As someone who's been in education for a while, this is new. This is a different way of approaching how we learn, how we look at things in the future. And I'm really excited for all of you that you get to be part of this opportunity. So I guess what I'd love to do now is turn it over to you. If you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions you might have about the college, about Korea, about anything in general that might be on your mind. So I'd love to open up the floor to you. So I think you got some questions that are coming in. You can just ask questions in the Q&A section. So let's see what we got. All right, cool, good question. So hello, thank you for the presentation. Is it possible to know more about fees and scholarships? So one thing with the fees, we have everything in detail on our website. And I don't want to just give you a number about one general thing. So please go to our website. I will make sure that whoever gave you guys the link, when we sent out the information about this, we're going to give the website so that you can see the full list of everything. We break down everything so you can see what you're paying for and what you get for that.
If you allow me to add one more fact related to this topic, because this is going to be almost a first round of a group who will join us. So you will have a very special scholarship if your profile really attractive. So, and then you will be the first group if you join us who's going to graduate and get the degree. So you're going to be a frontier of venturing this new journey working with us. So we will provide very special scholarship. If you're really interested, please contact us and we will evaluate you and review you.
I'm very jealous of you in this position because in my position, I also work with awarding scholarships and we have rigid structures we have to follow and we award them. But being in your position and being able to award scholarship is a really gratifying thing. Mm-hmm. So this is a great position for you all to be in right now. That's fantastic. So another one, let's see. Okay, so is it compulsory to move to global campus after 2 years? And which countries are the campuses located in? So do you have to go to another country? Let's break it down. So first, do you have to go outside Korea?
Yeah, that's why we included, we decided to include Korea as one of our global campus. Global campus concept is not necessarily that you need to go overseas. The concept is we're gonna let you get out of our campus boundary, the main gate and our campus borderline. So that's why, as I mentioned, we're in the process of developing one campus in Korea, additional campus in Korea, which is going to be potentially new capital city of South Korea, which is going to be Sejong City. It's about 1 hour from Daejeon and 1 hour from 1.5 hours from Seoul. So you can access to Seoul and you can access to our main campus. But all the government organization and industry leaders, they're creating new city actually. So it's a planned city. So it's going to be very dynamic kind of city. So yes, the short answer is it is not necessary for you to go out of this country after you spend 2 years. You do have an option that you can stay in Korea. On top of Korea, as I mentioned, we do have a Germany. We do have Boston in United States. So we do have China in Beijing. So you do have options.
So any of these cities would be actually really great to go to. Sejong, I ride my bike there sometimes. There's a bike path between Daejeon and Sejong. It's covered by solar panels. Beautiful. You feel like you're riding into the future every time you go on this ride. To be able to go to Beijing to do this, to go to Boston to do this, and I don't remember the name outside of Frankfurt.
Yeah, Kaiserslautern.
Okay, Kaiserslautern.
Kaiserslautern, I'm sorry.
Kaiserslautern. So these are the 4 places that you can go, and you don't have to leave Korea if that's something you don't want to do.
That's right.
And let's see, another question: do I have to submit a thesis to graduate? Great question. Do they need a thesis?
No. Instead of asking you to write a boring paper, we're going to ask you to have real-world hands-on experience through the project. So obviously, at the end of the project, you will have to make a presentation to your client firm or corporate sponsor who's going to provide that project opportunity. working with our professors. But you're not going to be asked to write a boring 100-page long kind of thesis. We're not expecting you to write the thesis.
Okay, so something that you're not going to be producing something many people probably will not read. It's something practical you can use for your future.
But your presentation and your verification that you learn from the real world based project, that will be our output.
Okay. Let's see. Another question. What type of research does a program promote? So what type of research? That's an interesting question. That's a pretty broad question.
Yeah.
There's so much research that you can do. So what kind of research can these students expect to be doing?
Right. Research depends on the definition. There are many different kind of ways that we can explain. But before you learn how to do research and what to research, we're going to let you have an opportunity to observe. Before you learn what we already have as a knowledge, right? We cannot do research, right? And then before you find the interesting topic, we cannot even start our research, right? So we're going to let you have an opportunity to how to observe the phenomena and real world, an area that you are interested in. And after you observe, you're going to collect some data. Data means like not necessarily numbers. It could be collected through interview, observation, visiting, benchmarking. So through various channels, you will able to collect the data. And then you're going to do research. Someone else in the world or in the past already might did that research. So you need to be able to find the previous research so that you can learn what kind of existing knowledge is available. And then we're going to ask you to study those existing knowledge before you ask a question. And that's the part of research, understanding existing knowledge. And then we will ask you to add one more value, just one small piece on top of existing knowledge. That's your value.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do.
So I guess the short answer is there's not a specific type of research that's going to be promoted, but it's really driven by student interest.
Right.
And you're going to be here to support that as long as it falls into the category that it makes sense. Okay.
Right.
Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, would the spring semester be online or is it going to be on campus?
Basically, based on our design, it's going to be on campus. But regardless whether you are on campus or off campus, it's going to be online plus real-time online combined with a face-to-face meeting if it is available. So if we do have a number of students who will be on campus, we're going to run online plus offline classes at the same time. But because of COVID-19 situation, if we do have students who cannot join us, we're going to do our best to offer our class by using our technology, online based, real-time based, but those students who cannot join us to our main campus can join us through online. But basically, I would like to highlight that the most effective way and the most beneficial way from student perspective, joining us and stay with us on campus, and then do have some interaction and active kind of like work activities staying on the main campus. That is our expectation.
Okay. So yeah, this is just one of those things that it seems like this is all going to work very well with technology, whether it's online, in person, online, offline, however you do it, I think it's going to work. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's see. A question about tuition when abroad. So do you have to pay extra tuition if you're studying abroad? How is tuition going to work in the global campus?
Oh yeah, tuition is going to be same because we're going to develop the curriculum and we're going to offer the curriculum based on the basic tuition. But the fee might be a little bit changed because the extra fee that you're going to pay for using dormitory facility in main campus might be a little bit different from the facility that you're going to use in other country.
Okay.
There are going to be a little bit kind of like differences based on the local expenses, but we're trying to minimize those fee differences across the global campus. But tuition will be basically same, but a little bit of the fee can be differentiated.
Okay, and that makes sense. Anytime someone studies abroad at all, you always have to worry about, you always have to keep in mind the differences in local costs, like going out for a meal or a taxi. It's always going to be different wherever you go. So, all right, that's good. let's see. Another question someone asked in the Q&A panel. So what is cognitive science? What will I learn if I choose cognitive science? Yeah, this is something that I think is a huge topic that we went over very quickly. So if we can just talk a little bit more about cognitive science.
Yeah, you can think about your brain or thinking process, right? By watching, by observing, by smelling, by touching. A lot of sensing system. Human being does have 5 and number of sensing system. So you get a sense, which is information, right? And then you bring that or send that sense to your brain, and somehow your brain analyze the sensing information and make a decision or generate the different feelings and things like that. That is the entire process, and that's the way how human beings react to the external environment and communicate with human being and interact with various machines. So without understanding how human beings interact with external object or entity, we cannot develop fully available AI and robotics and things like that. So by understanding cognitive science, we can develop more advanced kind of machines, and we can think about the way how we can communicate with machine. So basically cognitive science is about learning how our brain process and what kind of output do we produce, what kind of sensing system do we have. So that's basically cognitive science based on my understanding.
So this isn't just like a psychology course.
That's right.
This is basically the interaction between people, their brains, and external world.
Psychology class plus linguistic class, I would say, right? Not only psychology, but depends on what kind of language that you use and how to communicate with other people. Your brain might sense different kind of information. So various kind of like knowledges and academic areas are related to each other, and we will draw the commonality and core kind of knowledges that help us to better understand human brain processing so that we can add value to fourth industry revolution.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. All right. So back to a little bit more about the specific curriculum kind of question. What would we be learning in the first year? Like, what are these soft skills? What are the liberal arts classes that are going to be taught in the first year?
Yeah, some of the liberal art class. I mean, basically, we're gonna study human histories and society and business ethics. And one of the interesting course that we developed is under the title of "What is the most important 7 questions in your life?" Have you thought about that question in your life? What was the most interesting or important question, right? How does the universe start? Or how does a human being or human history begin, right? I don't know. I mean, you might have your own interesting questions, but we're going to draw the most commonly interesting kind of 7 basic questions, and we're going to invite various faculty members in a different field so that student can ask a question, and then faculty can answer to that question, and they can have a very productive and interesting discussion. So that type of liberal art class that help our student to think about creativity and fulfill the curiosity, and then work with other students. That's liberal art classes, exemplary type of liberal art classes. And also, in order to learn how data process, we need to learn logical thinking. What is the root cause of the problem? Based on that root cause of the problem, what kind of symptom that we can observe and how to try to solve that problems. So logical thinking, right? And then mathematics basically, or statistics. That's the basic language that we can use by interacting with machines and computers and robots. So we need to learn that basic analytical skills or mathematics skills, I believe.
Okay, so I guess if any of you have ever gone out and you talked to an engineer who's only done engineering, it might be really hard to talk to them about something because their frame of reference is very different from someone who doesn't understand how to talk about things. So this is going to give you, I guess, a frame of reference. It's going to give you the ability to talk to people about things because you can put things in a perspective or in the context,
right? And
it'll help you to learn about, or maybe to expand your own interests, to learn about more things in the future. So I'm hoping I'm summing that up in an adequate way. But it seems like it's a really important foundation that you're putting together for everyone. So,
Right. Yeah.
let's see. All right, another great question. Artificial intelligence is really an uncommon thing to study in my own country. So going back home may not be a good idea for me because it's hard to find a job in that field. Does your university help students with internships or work placement after graduation?
Yeah. In response to your question, first of all, although you may feel that there is not many AI related job in your area or in your region, believe or not, it will be a very important and critical technology or area that you can make a contribution. If I look at the digital literacy, there are advanced economy who does have a very high speed of developing and adopting this technology. And then compared to the economy that slowly adopt the technology, the gap will be bigger and bigger, right? So in order to reduce that kind of gap, the student who studied this area can make a significant contribution when you go back to your regional area. You will be a very unique resource at the government level, regardless, which country where you came from or you're coming from, at the government level, and then research level, academia in those regional area. They are interested in having a young generation who understand this technology. That's my first response. Second response regarding internship opportunity and support. Yes, we do have a student career development center, and our faculty member and our staff will do our best to find the proper information so the student can have access to that proper information to find the internship and have a job in local economy or our other overseas economy. One of the interesting aspects that I want to share with you related to the job searching process, as I mentioned, we're going to have a hands-on real-world experience kind of project, which is going to be sponsored by global companies, which is going to be located in 5 or different kind of global campuses. So by working with them, they may interested in working with you furthermore after you complete your project. So that even create additional channel that our student can find other job opportunity or extend their internship opportunity.
And I guess because everything is taught in English, that's already just another thing that's going to help them to find a job somewhere else.
Right.
Depending. Okay, so so the person who asked this question might be thinking there's no AI jobs in my home country. However, essentially that's not true. There will be, if there aren't right now, there will be in the future. You may just not know about it.
Or the title of the job is not under the name of AI job, but maybe different under different title.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then obviously with the global campus, that's going to broaden your horizon, give you a bigger network. That's where you find a job really, is through your network.
That's right.
Okay, good. Let's see. And so far, how many students are taking this program? Well, that's a great question. How many students are taking the program? We haven't opened up the semester yet, so we don't have full enrollment yet. But this is a new program, and I don't know what the numbers are yet, but we have. I guess it's open to.
We would like to invite as many as possible, but our class size for each major basically will be 25. So we do have 25, 25, 25. That doesn't mean that I do have a capacity cap, but after we have enough student, we're gonna have a maximum student in one class up to 25. If we do have more student, we will create another class so that student can have an effective way of learning and interaction.
All right, we are going to wrap it up. So thank you everyone for tuning in to watch us. I really hope that we gave you some good information. Thank you so much for giving us all this great information. I hope that you guys are able to apply. We will send out the link for everyone. If you are not aware what the application link is, we will send it back out to your emails. And I hope to see you in South Korea. I hope to see you at Woosong. Great day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you very much. Take care.